raise your hand if you enjoy watching videos of people growing their own things, their own plants in their own grow rooms, because I love to watch those videos. But I am also the worst because I always end up with a list of 2 or 3 things that I just need to get because I'm easily influenced. But today I'm going to show you everything that I have grown in my own grow room here in central Indiana. And today you get to see all the things that I have started already. Some of you already know. I think that my last update video was about 3-4 weeks ago. So this is going to be definitely a huge update. I have things like Coleus, lemongrass, violas, lavender, geraniums, and my beautiful ginger. And I have a lot of other things that are on my grow room that I just couldn't fit in this picture. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know that a lot of you are growing the same things, and it's always fun to compare the things that you're doing with other people and, you know, seeing what things are working, what things aren't. And I definitely have a couple of those in my own place. So grab yourself a drink because this video might end up a little bit long. Let's start with Coleus. I started all of these Coleus at the same time, the 6th of February. And let's see, today is the 24th of March. So they are doing amazing. I started this in smaller containers and then I just put them up about a couple of weeks ago into these containers. Look at how gorgeous that is. I believe this is dark chocolate. Look at the velvety feel of the leaves. I love that. I just love that. This is my 3rd or 4th year, no, my 4th year growing Coleus. And I am just loving that, you guys. Look at that. Look at that beautiful set of leaves. This is a green color one and it's just as beautiful. This guy's right here. This is a velvet red. This is the smallest of them all, but still very beautiful variety. And as you can tell, some of them are bigger than others. I do have one more variety, but I am doing a little bit of an experiment that I'm going to be showing you here in a month or so. So that one is on a different spot. But this is my gorgeous set of Coleus. They're just beautiful plants. This right here is my lemongrass. Look at this beautiful set of grasses there. I have at least, I don't know, at least 5 seeds in here. This is how I like to do them. I started this with a pinch of seeds in different smaller containers, and then I put them up here. And look at that beautiful green foliage. Lemongrass, I started them from seed on the 6th of February. And today is March, gosh, I can't keep up the date. March 24th. Today is March 24th. And look at all that growth. Isn't that beautiful? And yarrow, I started it on February 6th as well. This is one of the perennials that I am growing. Look at that gorgeous color. It's beautiful, just beautiful. If you want to see how I started the seeds, all the perennial seeds this year, I'm going to link to that video, but I basically use a quick 24 hours in the freezer. I can explain you all of that in the video. I'll put that link in the description. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I started these guys on February the 6th. Look at all that gorgeousness. This right here is basil. And this basil I started on the 16th of March. And look at all that growth. Isn't that beautiful? And basil, I just put a pinch of seeds and I let them grow just like that. They're going to be moving into my garden from there, but I might have to pot them up, these guys, once into bigger containers. And if I do have just tons of seeds that germinated and I have like a lot of plants that are in one tiny container, what I can do is I can use the buy. I can use easily divide into 2 or 3 separate plants, and that works for me. I am absolutely not worried about having just one seed as far as basil goes per container. It's just how I like to do things, and this makes it easier and fast for me. Look at that. Beautiful. This right here is marigold. It's just one type of marigold. These are the white variety, the white double bloom variety that I love. These are Kilimanjaro marigolds, and I started these guys as well on the 16th of March. They are definitely getting ready for me to pot them up because I definitely have two seeds. It looks like I put 2 seeds per little container there. They are amazing. They're just doing amazing there. And I'll definitely keep all of those. If all of those plants make it, I'll definitely find a place in my garden for them. And I do have a lot of these geraniums, but I'm not going to bring them all here. The tray is a little bit heavy. I have a whole tray full of them. But these are my lovely, lovely geraniums. I just pot them up into these bigger containers about a couple of days ago. They are looking amazing. Just amazing. Look at that. And geraniums, I started them on January 27th, and goodness, I started geraniums last year and they grew. I mean, they grew slow. They still took their time, but they grew slow. But these guys this year, they're just taking off. Look at how much growth since January. Basically, it's almost a month and a half. And normally it takes them a little bit longer to get to this point, but they just love it here. By the way, I have not fertilized these guys, but I am using regular potting mix. This right here is my calendula that I started on the 16th of March, and I have 2 types of calendula here that I divided with my super fancy name tags right there. I just have one there in the middle to divide the seeds, but I have plenty. I definitely had great germination. This one right here is Orange Flash Calendula, and this one right here is Playtime Mix. This is how much growth they have done since I put the seeds in there on the 16th of March. Isn't that beautiful? And I'll probably take maybe another week once I start seeing the true leaves show up. I'll probably get some time to divide this and put them in their own little container. I'll definitely keep 1 plant per container, but I'm going to have plenty of calendula. Right here, I have 2 types. This right here on this side, these gorgeous greens, are Persian cress. And you guys, these guys germinated in 2 days. I actually didn't even check the container because I had a germination dome on top of the seeds. I didn't think anything of it, and when I went and looked, they were already huge and a little bit leggy. My goodness, this is my first year growing Persian cress. This is definitely overkill for me. I'm definitely going to have to thin them out, and I'm gonna have to do that today. And it breaks my heart. Thinning out seedlings it's just something that is just, I don't know, so hard to do for those people with the heart. And this right here, this is my white dill. This is a type of Ami, and look at the beautiful seedlings. Look at that. They're tiny, but they're going. They're beautiful, you guys. Both of these were started as well on the 16th of March, and this is how much growth they have done. This right here is also 2 types of seeds that I started on the 16th of March. This right here is my Celosia Pampas Plume. I think that's how you say it. And this is a mix of Celosia. And I don't know if you can tell, but the stems of the Celosia, some of them are yellow, some of them are green, and some of them are red. That is just a beautiful, beautiful sight. This is beautiful. And this right here, this is also new for me this year. These are lion's ears. And I have lots of them, you guys. I just have so many of them. I'm definitely going to have to thin this out as well. Look at that. Both of these, like I said, were started on the 16th of March. These right here are my cornflowers, and they're not growing really fast. I have a feeling that I'm gonna have to divide them, and hopefully that just kind of, I don't know, wakes up the roots or something. I haven't done any fertilizer or anything like I mentioned, but these guys right here are also another one of my perennials, and these are the germination that I got. And I did the treatment, the 24-hour treatment for these seeds as well, just like the yarrow and lavender. If you want to see that video, I'll put it below. But this is how much they have grown here. And the seeds that were germinated were moved here on the 8th of February. So I feel like they should be a lot bigger than this. But I mean, I don't know. This is my first year growing Echinacea coneflowers. So maybe if you have more experience with those, maybe you let me know if this is normal. But like I say, I'm going to pot these up because I definitely see some roots here at the bottom. And hopefully here in the next update, I can show you a little bit more of a growth. I am watering all of these bottom watering, so they're like just leaking everywhere. But this right here, let me see. These guys right here are all of the dahlias that I have growing from seed, you guys. These right here are the ones that I got from Park Seed. And all of these dahlias, all of the dahlias that I'm trying from seed were started on the 3rd of March, March 3rd. These are the ones from Park Seed, and they are doing amazing. They were really quick to germinate. And I'll probably be potting this up into a container, like maybe 2.5, 3-inch container, something like that. Whatever I have available, but these are looking amazing. Really, really amazing. These right here were the mix that I got from Floret. And again, just like the other seeds from Park Seed, these also germinated really quick. They were really, really quick to germinate. They're doing great. And these two on the back, the orange and the purple, are the seeds that I saved from my own dahlias last year. And while they took a little bit longer than the other ones that I purchased, they came up and germinated. And I'm thankful for that because that means that I can save seeds from my own dahlias. Look at that. Look at how gorgeous that is. Very, very excited. So I have a lot of dahlias here from seed, and I'm excited to see what kind of dahlias, what kind of blooms and colors I get, because whatever, I already made up my mind. Whatever dahlia that I love is just going to be one that I save the tubers from, but whichever one I just don't really feel like we connect, then I'm just not going to save the tubers. It's just too much work for me for something that I don't really enjoy. These right here are two types of seed. These right here are my Scarlet Sage Salvia. These are seeds that I saved from 2 years ago, and you can see a lot of plants there because I overseeded. I wasn't sure if the seeds were still viable because they were older seeds, but look at that. I have plenty of germination. That just means that I'm going to have great results here. And this right here on the back, this is Amaranth. This is a golden giant Amaranth. How beautiful. They're a little leggy, but that's okay. And both of these were started on the 16th of March. And they are doing amazing with my Salvia and my Amaranth. These right here are my violas, you guys. And this is probably the last time that you'll see them here indoors, because I am going to start to get them outside to get them to harden off. And I am excited to see how they do. Every single plant here I started from seed. And these violas, I started them on the 27th of January. I think that next year I am definitely going to start my violas a little bit, maybe a month earlier, because I definitely want bigger plants. These are big, but I definitely want the containers where I take them outside. I want them to be at least 2.5, maybe 3-inch, but I don't have right now the time to pot them up and give them that time indoors so that I can take them outside. Right now is the perfect time for them to be outside, but definitely next year I'm going to start them about a month later. That way I can have the time to pot them up and be bigger plants. These are lovely. Again, I started these violas, every single one of them, on the 27th of January. How gorgeous they are. These guys are definitely new for me. These are salpiglossis, which are black trumpet. And I started these guys on the 16th of March. And I definitely have way too many seeds in one of those little trays. Again, these germinated really quick. I didn't even check them. Normally I check my seeds that I have in there like a couple of days later, but these guys probably germinated really quick because they got really leggy, and I needed to move them out of the humidity dome into the lights, and they beat me to germinate first. But they look amazing. What I'm going to have to do is that I'm going to have to thin them out to a single plant. That way I can just keep 6 of them, because right now I have at least, I don't know, 20 plants in there. I definitely do not need that many. I will just be excited to grow them and see how they do in my garden, and then next year I'll decide if I want to grab a bunch more or if I just want to skip them all together. This right here is my chocolate lace flower, and it just started germinated, you guys. I started these 2, chocolate lace flower and lacy pink, on the 16th of February, and the seeds that I had from lacy pink were older seeds that I got from Floret at least 2 or 3 years ago, and I wasn't sure if the seeds were going to make it, and I don't see anything there. So it just means that, you know, maybe the seeds were a little bit older. But these guys right here, these chocolate ones that I had from, not new seeds, but the seeds from the year before, they have great germination. Hopefully you can see them there. They have great germination, and I am going to be potting these up here in a couple of weeks. I definitely want them to grow bigger and stronger, develop those roots better. But I am very excited because this is one of my favorite flowers that I grew from last year. So really excited about that. This guys right here is, this salvia is new for me. This one is a more salmon salvia that I started on the 16th of March. And this just started poking through the soil. I have a lot of plants there. We'll see how they do. This is my first time growing this type of salvia. We'll see how they do. But so far, they look like they're doing great. If you wonder my division here, because I know I'm going to have somebody ask, they use a regular tag, like a name tag, that just fits perfect for making a division there. Boom. Super fancy. These guys right here are, both of these are Strawflowers. I have some scarlet Strawflowers, and it looks like I have a lonely one seed that germinated there. I mean, it's fine. It's totally fine. Because I have plenty of these copper red Strawflowers here, and I have plenty of those. And they look very similar. But I had these seeds from last year anyway, so I figured I'd try them. I'm still going to water the top. Maybe, you know, maybe the rest of the seeds are still just kind of late to the game. That's totally fine. I started both of these on the 16th of March. These are Strawflowers. Beautiful blooms that I'm going to hopefully get this year. And this is the drama with the Snapdragons. So this is my 3rd batch of Snapdragons. The first batch of Snapdragons that I tried a couple of weeks ago, they gave me nothing. Actually, I lie. Let me show you. The first batch of Snapdragons, I have all of this tray full of seeds of Snapdragons, and I got 3 of them to germinate. Only 3, you guys. Like, I probably have at least 50 seeds in there. So very disappointed on that, but I do have 3 plants, and I'm going to be taking care of these 3 plants like they're gold. Then I started the same seeds because I still have a bunch of seeds left in the container. Then I started the same seeds in a different tray, doing the same thing. I actually believe that I put those rest of the seeds in the freezer this time for a day. I put them out, and I have zero germination, nothing. So then I went and purchased, actually Chris, a viewer, Chris, sent me an email saying, look, this is what I got, this is where I got the seeds, maybe you can try them. So I went into this company. I can't remember which one it was. I believe there was Outdoor Pride. And I got me 2 different kinds of Snapdragons. Yes, it's a little bit late in the season to start Snapdragons, but I figured why not, right? Because I already just only have the 3 plants. So I put them here, and I didn't want to put them in the freezer. I just wanted to see, I wanted to make sure that everything that I did was the same, just in case the seeds that I got the first time were maybe not the best batch of seeds. So I did everything that I would have done the same. And I don't know if you can tell, but these guys right here were just put in there on the 17th of March. And I have lots and lots of germination going there from the 2 varieties that I got. So thank you, Chris, for mentioning these, you know, for taking the time to send me an email, to send me pictures of your gorgeous germination from your Snapdragons, because I probably would have just quit after the second time that I tried these guys, thinking, you know, that I did something wrong. But just to show you that sometimes you can do everything right and still things just fail. And then you wonder why this is happening, you know, what did I do wrong? But in this case, what I'm going to do is that I am going to send an email to Johnny's, letting them know, hey, your seeds, all of the 100 of seeds that you sent me, I got 3 to germinate. So I'm excited for these Snapdragons. Hopefully I'll get lots of blooms from them. Wish me luck. The worst thing about having a white table is that it shows everything. Okay, out of the frame, out of sight. Okay, you guys, these right here are the rest of my amaranths that I have. And I started all of these amaranth on the 16th of March. I have 3 tiny seeds that germinated for my red spike amaranth right there. Very happy about those. I hope that those 3 make it, because that's probably 1 too many more that I need. These right here in the middle are my coral fountain. Look at those. They're just beautiful, beautiful amaranth. And the ones on the end are, it's a new variety for me. It's a Birdes. It's a green type. It's a green color. And it is lovely. And I'm definitely going to have to thin these guys out or divide them or do something, because just way too many seeds. But again, these guys were started all on the 16th of March. And other than the red spike, everything else has great germination. Guys, if you could just smell this. This right here is all of my lavender. These are all of the seedlings that I have for my lavender. Gosh, and just doing this to my seedlings, they just smell amazing. So amazing. This is my first time growing lavender, and I had great success with the 24-hour trick that I mentioned in a couple of videos before. I basically put the seeds in a wet paper towel. They go into the freezer with the wet paper towel inside a Ziploc bag for 24 hours. After that, I take them outside, put them in a warm, bright place inside the Ziploc bag, still wet, and then I just wait for the seeds to germinate. And once the seeds germinate, then I just move them into their own little container. And lavender was definitely, out of all the 3 that I tried, which was yarrow, cornflowers, and lavender was definitely the longest that it took to germinate. But I had great germination. Like, I had tons of seedlings here, you guys. And I am very, very excited for all the possibilities. All of these seeds, they went into the freezer on the 1st of February. Like I say, they stood there for 24 hours. I took them outside, and on the 20th of February, 19 days later, the seeds show great germination. They have roots everywhere. So I moved them each into their own little container, and this is where we are right now. About a month later or so, this is how much growth the lavender have done. I have plenty of seeds. They're doing amazing. And I'm very, very excited for lavender. I have a bunch of these, but I'm only going to show you one of each so you get an idea. This right here is my Rudbeckia, and this is my first time growing Rudbeckia. This right here is Sahara, which I hope to get at least a few flowers to bloom. And this right here is Cherry Brandy. I love both of them. And I started both of these on the 14th of February. They gave me good decent germination, and they are being really slow, you guys. Is this normally what happens with Rudbeckia? I mean, this is February. We're talking about a month or so, a little bit over a month, probably about 5 weeks or so. And they're kind of on the flat side. I don't know if you can really tell from the picture, from the video. They're not great as far as growing fast and strong. And I don't know if this is true for all Rudbeckias, but if you have experience growing these two types of Rudbeckia from seed, please let me know if this is what they normally do. I just moved them into these 2.5-inch containers, I believe yesterday. So they're brand new into these containers, and hopefully they just take off. And again, I haven't done any fertilizer because I'm using regular potting mix for starting my seeds, but I figure that the potting mix has some fertilizer in it, so we'll see. These are all the dahlias that I have from cuttings. And you guys, and they're doing amazing. These are the first two that I took. These right here are Arabian Night, and I basically started the tubers on the 14th of March, and by the 14th of February. And on the 3rd of March, that's when these cuttings were moved into these containers. And I already checked, and these guys, both of these have plenty of roots. So I'm really hopeful that these two will become beautiful dahlias. And these right here are all the ones that I show you. I actually did a video on this, and I will link it below as well. I took all of these cuttings from the tubers that I was pre-sprouting. They are doing amazing. The fact that the cuttings are looking alive, they're not wilted, they're not dead, it just means that we're doing something good. And we did this way later. I'll put the date here when I moved the cuttings into these containers. But I was just looking at one of these. It's going to be really hard for you to see this, but right here we have a root going from this cutting. And this is why I love using these clear containers from Bootstrap, because you can, if you're trying to root something, you can see without having, to pick, you can see if you have any roots. But this is one that is very visible here. This is basically what we want. It's right here. Hopefully, there is one root right there that is just going down. And here on the next update, even if I wait another week, this will be visible way better. And look at those roots. I love that. I just love that. So if you think of it, from those tubers that we pre-sprouted, we got 8 cuttings. And this is basically 8 free dahlia plants, and these cuttings will become their own tubers. They will be the same exact dahlia, the same color, the same bloom from the mother tuber that we took the cuttings from. So this for me is really super excited, and I only did 3 or 4 last year, and that was gorgeous. But this year I'm definitely doing more. I'm growing from seed, I'm growing from cuttings, and I just ordered a bunch more tubers that I put into their own containers. And I'm just really excited because this will be the year that I grow the most dahlias in my garden. And I cannot wait to show you how that looks like. These right here are all of my petunias, you guys. And this is my first year growing petunias. And so far we're doing great. I started all of these petunias on the 6th of February. I only have 2 different varieties. And they look amazing, you guys. I just put these guys up into these 2.5-inch containers because they definitely needed more room for the roots to grow. But I'm very excited about this. And this right here on the side, I do have humidity domes, but since I needed to use this space, I'm just using regular plastic to cover these guys. And these right here are my snail vines. I don't have anything here, nothing to show. But I started these guys on the 22nd of March. And basically what I did is that I scratched the seeds. I think that I show you how I did that. I scratched the seeds and then I put them in water overnight. And I just move them into their own little containers here, and hopefully I'll have something to show you. I tried to germinate these guys last year and I had zero results. But I also don't think that I did any of the soaking or the scratching. So by doing that, I'm hoping that I get better chances of growing these vines, because they're lovely and the seeds are also very expensive. I think that I only got like five little seeds in one packet, and they were quite expensive, but I'm hoping to at least get a couple of plants, and then from there I can save my own seeds, and then we can just continue year after year. These right here are all of my peppers. I pinched these peppers a couple of days ago. I think that I show you how to do that. And these guys are definitely ready to be potted up into bigger containers. They're doing amazing here, but I just know that they need a bigger space. And what I'll probably do is that I'll use some sort of liquid fertilizer, because at this point the plants are huge. They have been here for a bit, and they definitely could use a little bit of a fertilizer. All of these peppers were started on the 6th of February, and I have some, let's see, I have some poblanos here, jalapenos, and these are all cheltepin peppers. And all of these right here are gonna go to my parents. I don't keep any of those. Those are just way too spicy for me. I'm happy with my jalapenos and my poblanos for what I need at home, and this is basically how it look like. Okay, some of you were worried about when I sprouted my dahlia tubers, when I pre-sprouted to get those cuttings that I just showed you. Some of you were worried that I was going to, I was taking a little bit of the tuber with the cuttings. Some of you were really surprised actually that it only took that much of a tiny piece of cutting with the tuber to root. Some of you actually said that's not gonna work for you, but you know, I just show you the roots. So, but also some of you were worried that by me cutting completely the one cutting that the tuber had, that the tuber was not going to produce more sprouts. And that's basically what they do, you guys. Once you cut the sprouts from the dahlia tuber, they will continue to produce more sprouts. And actually this is something that dahlia breeders, people who do this for a living, this is what they do months in advance, way in advance. They start to wake up their tubers. They start to pre-sprout them just so they can get cuttings one after the other, and they can get multiple cuttings from one single tuber. But right here is the result that I have from, these are all the tubers after we took the cuttings, we put them over here, and my goodness, I got sprouts coming left and right, just like this guy as well. I'm happy. I know that these tubers, all of these tubers have roots. All of them are okay. I give them water here and there, not by a lot, because they don't really have a lot of green just yet, but they are under my LED lights, and I keep them warm with a lot of lights, and they'll just keep on producing sprouts. And hopefully these guys, by the time that I'm ready to take them outside, they will be huge and healthy plants, and then we can just kind of get ahead of the game with starting dahlias outside. I told you that was going to be a long video. Just a couple of things. What's going on next? So I have a few things here going. I started my canna seeds, and by started I mean I just treated the seeds. I basically use a tool, a dog nail trimmer, to make a scratch on the seeds, on the canna seeds, and I have them in water here. They have been soaking here for I don't know, I think 3 or 4 days. I change the water daily just to make sure that it doesn't go bad. But it's not until I see something growing from the seeds, from majority of the seeds. It's going to be then when I move them into their own little containers. They just really need that humidity. They need to be in water. And I have been doing this for the past 4 years now, and I have gotten great results with cannas. And I have 2 different types of cannas here. I also got some rhizomes from Menards, from one of my trips to Menards. I got some canna rhizomes that they look gorgeous, and I'm going to be starting those. I'm going to be basically just putting them in a huge container, 2 or 3 pieces or so, and then hopefully they'll just sprout and become huge plants, and then they'll be ready to take outside whenever it's warm outside. Also, here next week, I don't know if I'll make a video on this, but I am going to be starting all of my tomatoes. If you want to see that, let me know. I just don't think that I need to. I have been making videos the past couple of years on how I do that. So if you want to see it, let me know. I might make one really quick. But tomatoes are going to be starting next week. Also, I have these guys here soaking. I am going to be starting these guys today. These are the Black Eye Susan vines. I have 2 types here, and it doesn't really say anywhere that I need to soak the seeds, but I figure if I just get the seeds in water for a couple of hours before I put them in soil, that it wouldn't hurt them. And how do I decide that? Well, one, I read the instructions on the package, right? If it says soak for a couple of hours or overnight, I am doing that for sure. But also, if it doesn't say that on the instructions and the seed is kind of big and hard, it just tells me that the water, if I put them directly into wet soil, the water is just going to take its time trying to get into the seed, doing all of that. But I figured that by soaking the seeds by a couple of hours before doing that process, that I just get a little bit of ahead of the germination process. So I'm going to start those 2. And also, I have beets. I have 2 types of beets soaking here in this container. I have those soaking, and again, I'm going to soak those for a few hours. And then what I'm going to do is that I am going to be taking these beets, the plants, here next week outside. I already have my sugar snap peas, my spinach, and my lettuce seedlings. They're already going through the process of hardening off. So those are actually outside right now. They haven't spent the night outside because I'm still a little worried, but they're going through the process. So when I'm ready for those, I'm going to take the beets that I'm going to start today. And for the beets, I basically put, I don't know, a little bunch of seeds in each little container. How many? I don't know, 3 to 5 seeds. And what I do is that once they germinate, every single little pot is going to go into their own space in the garden. And I have been doing this since I watch a few YouTubers doing this with beets. Basically, they plant them by bunch. And as they need the beets from the garden when they are mature, they take the beet from the outside and the ones in the middle just keep on growing. And I have been doing this for the last couple of years and it works great for me. I don't just put one beet in each separate space. So I'm going to be doing that. I actually have both of the varieties of beets here mixed. It doesn't matter to me which ones they are. I know they're yellow and red, and that's fine. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So hopefully by next week, I'll have a little bit of germination going, but I'll already be ahead of the game as far as getting my beets to germinate, because if I just put this outside straight into the soil, they might take a little bit more than a week to get to germinate. So I'm just jumping ahead a little bit of the time. That's it, you guys. That is all. I have lots to do. I have a few things that I need to pot up. I have a few things that I need to fertilize. Thank you for being here, and until the next time.